It's Toby from Heavyweight MMA, today with CKB head coach, former MMA fighter Eugene Bareman. How are you, brother?
Yeah, good, bro. Good to be back again.
Man, I was listening to your interview with Tony the other day, and you've got a pretty thick schedule ahead of you, going over to Vegas, back to Shanghai, back to Vegas. It's not an easy job.
Yeah, brother. Yeah. I'm always on the move. But traveling's a big part of it nowadays. If you want to get the boys to where they want to get to, you got to, got to get outside the border. So it's just part of life nowadays.
I kind of get the impression that you're not a big fan of having to travel around the world and all these things. It'd be nice if it was in your backyard, right?
Nah, bro. Like it's Just if it's in your backyard, it's a lot better. Like you got to think of it like this: like you're a UFC fighter. You fight maybe 2 or 3 times a year, so you travel 2 or 3 times a year. But if you're the coach, and I think the most I've had at one stage is 11 UFC fighters, and they're all fighting 3 times, on average 3 times, 11. That's 33 times you have to go overseas, plus all the rest of the boys that are trying to get to the UFC. So you're looking at 50 overseas trips a year, which is, you do the maths on that, brother. That's it gets crazy. You have to share the load, basically.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And I was actually thinking before you called, like, how do you differentiate, man? Like in your heart, do you differentiate between like the top level guys to the first timers, or is it more of a ranking thing where you'll kind of give a bit of priority, obviously, to the guys that are hitting the big time?
My honest and truthful endeavor in life has been to not do that, but I think you inevitably end up giving the people that have the bigger fights with more on the line more time, just because the stakes are so high. But I do, or at least have the intention of treating every fighter the same, because at the end of the day, that's what's so great about fighting, is it's all relative, right? Israel might be fighting for the championship of the world, or Alex Volkanovski, but there could also be a fighter that's in his 2nd or 3rd fight, or in that moment, at that time, that's the biggest fight in their life, and that's as good as, to them at least, as Alex Volkanovski or Israel Adesanya fighting for the title, or Kai Kara France. I try to treat them a little bit more as equally as I can, but it's an environment like this, it's very difficult.
Yeah, it's a numbers game, right? You just got too many numbers, but you're right. It's about perspectives, right? The importance to that person and in the perspective of their actual life. One fight, that the person might only have one fight, and that might be as important in their life as Israel's best championship fight ever, right? In terms of his perspective and his life, right? So it's true, yeah.
Yeah, mate. I got a young fighter now who's just fighting for a New Zealand title down in Wellington tomorrow, and that's the last place I want to be. But he wants me to be there to corner him. So, funnily enough, I'm not going to be there because I booked my flight, but I just got my appendix out today. So I just had a surgery, and I just found out that they won't let me fly tomorrow. So I've had to call him and tell him that I can't fly. But yeah, it's just what you got to do. He wants me there, and if me being there gives him a little bit of confidence, it helps him win the fight, then you've got to be there. So every fighter's like that. So you do have to spread yourself a little bit.
Yeah. So that's you just said you had your appendix out. Was that any dramas?
It was a bit of a drama, bro.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Was that actually appendicitis, and you went rushing to hospital and then they worked it out, or?
Yeah. So do you remember when Carlos fought Jan Blachowicz? I don't know if that was this year. I think it was this year. That's when I first got it. And I misdiagnosed it because the night before I got it, me and Carlos went out and had barbecue in London. So I thought it was bad barbecue. And then it's about 4 or 5 months later now, and I'm still getting pains. And I had real big pains in the weekend. And I was like, well, I haven't eaten any bad meat in London, and I've got the exact same feeling. So that's when I knew I had to get it checked out. And they rushed me into surgery straight away.
Jesus.
So it must have been bad.
Yeah, that's a scary thing, right? Like, yeah, I need to get that stuff checked out. Crazy. You can't
Yeah.
always blame the London meat.
No, it wasn't the London meat at all, bro. It was my appendix.
Yeah. Now, bro, I don't want to keep you too long on everything, but you got a few fights coming up, like we mentioned. Cameron Rowston fighting Brandon Holmes. He's had a quick opponent change. From my perspective, this guy, I don't know about you, what you like to share, but when I look at this guy, he doesn't seem as polished as maybe the last guy or as polished as Cameron. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, yeah, probably not as polished, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's not as dangerous. Like I think now, like the UFC's in a bit of an era of I don't know how you describe it, but messiness of like just adaptation, where guys are able to bring what's previously been seen as I don't know looked at as bad form, but they've managed to put some order to it and make it work. And they're making the chaos work, and that they're ordering it in their own sort of way through their own kind of experiences. And that sort of striking style is having some success in the UFC at the moment. So it's just a puzzle that has to be solved. Yeah, and I'm having real trouble solving it, but I'll get there in the end.
Yeah, like just the Drickus jumps to mind straight away, man. In a way, right? Nothing looks pretty. And then Sean Strickland, man, I hate Sean Strickland's style, man. I hate watching him, but they're effective at times, right?
Yeah, I mean you got Drickus, you got Strickland, you got Marab a little bit like that at the moment. It's just very just a difficult kind of style to work out that probably without the MMA factors of the sport probably wouldn't work. The style wouldn't work in a striking environment like boxing or kickboxing or Muay Thai. But it's not about that because they're making it work in the sport.
And on that, man, when you analyze an opponent, I was interested in how you guys do it. Like, what's the general sort of processes for you guys for analyzing? Do you sit down with your crew and check out footage, or how does it normally work?
Um, yeah, we don't actually sit down together. I have a group of 4 guys, and we just have a group, mate. We have like a messenger group, and that messenger group just goes ding, ding, ding all night long for 10 or 12 weeks at all hours of the night. Because some of these guys, they're watching their videos at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, like, and it just goes ding, 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 and we just go back and forth until we start to put stuff together. I mean, video work, bro. When you when you get to this level with more than a couple of fighters, is you've got to be very careful with video work because, and any coach will tell you this, if you don't have the right mindset when you sit down in front of the video, you just end up wasting half an hour. You've got to really put yourself in that mindset where you can really start to look deeply into it and kind of pick apart the things that, those things that perhaps just aren't blatantly obviously to most people. You've got to really get inside. So you have to be in the right mindset. But I mean, I'm sure a lot of coaches do this, but I watch everything. I watch everything with the sound off, and I watch everything at half speed, sometimes slower. That's how I like to watch fights. But you can't watch fights in slow motion. You got to. It does give you a bit of a skewed perspective, so you've got to watch both speeds. But yeah, there's different ways. Everybody has different techniques. Yeah.
Isn't it kind of interesting? Like, and it wasn't even that long ago, like you'd say, what, 20 or so years ago, where the footage wasn't even available like it is now. You're just inundated with footage. You can basically find footage of amateur fighters now. So these pros that have been around for a while, you got heaps of stuff to sort of analyze, right?
City for kickboxing wouldn't be where it is today. Me and the coaches didn't have the resource of YouTube. This is where we're like that like was how we shaped ourselves and how we looked at fighters and how we picked things apart and decided, well, what direction do we go? Where can we get advantages? It's through the information age, because also those same coaches, all of our first fights are on a thing called VHS on videotape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then to go from an era where our fights, our first few fights are on videotape, to an era where you can bring up any fight in the world with any fighter. For us, that's a very like unique and special thing. For a fighter that's born with YouTube, in the time of YouTube, they don't know any different, right?
Yeah.
But for us, it's very, very special. So we take it as a real privilege to be able to look at those fights. Like, we kind of look at it with a bit of aura. You know, we're like, wow, you know, these fights that were so hard to get. I've actually still got boxes in my attic. I got about 500 videotapes, brother.
Yeah,
1,000 DVDs, because I was already collecting fights before they were on the computer.
Yeah, no, I know that, bro. VHS, VCD, the old Japanese fights that used to come out will be on VCD in Australia. Anyway, you have to go to the Japanese shops and like try and get something. Imagine if you were fighting at that level, it would have been really trouble to get anything. Like you'd be waiting, you get one little disc every couple of months or something. Crazy.
Yeah. I got a lot of good footage in Thailand.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of good fights in Thailand on the DVDs, the Priority DVDs.
Yeah. Me too, man. Me too. Actually, talking about the videos, I got old boxes of videos too, and a couple of them I would watch like to death. Like what's his name? No, I've just lost it. I was thinking of it a second ago. The Tyson's guy that he bit the ear off. I watched that like
Holyfield.
To Holyfield to death, along with heaps of others, but that was one of the ones I watched to death because his style was just so like, you know, sound, man, so sound, you know. Yeah, bro. So without going on for too long, because I'm gonna keep you forever if we go into all this detail, we've got after you hit Vegas with Cam, you're off to Shanghai with Aaron Toe, Lawrence Liu, fighting in the semis of the Road to UFC, bro. So it's kind of a cool one, right? It's good to see them, you know, stepping up again.
Yeah, I mean, the boys, this great thing about the Road to UFC, bro, it's a set schedule. So, you know, okay, you know, we got through this part of the tournament. Now this is our date and these are our opponents. So we've been able to work to quite a good, well-structured plan in that regard. So those boys are looking good. Don't ask me to name the opponents' names, bro.
Of course, they're difficult anyway. So you got Aaron's facing a Chinese Yin Shui, and Lawrence is facing a Vietnamese Van He Nguyen or something. Yeah, these guys.
But yeah, both very good opponents, and in a tournament style fight, I think it's exactly what a tournament style fight is all about in terms of progressing the guys. I think that the 4 best guys out of the original 8 are actually the ones meeting in this semi-final, and then obviously you know, it'll come down to the next lot, and then that's how a tournament should work. So I think Lawrence has got a very good guy and Aaron's got a very good guy, so they're gonna have to earn their spot to the final 100%.
Yeah, man, I'm kind of pumped. Like I'm just dreaming that we get victories across all the ANZAC fighters, man, because we got 4 guys in the tournament. So you still got Dom Marfan and Seb Zaleh from Australia over there as well. They both got good chances in their fights as well. I'd say they all got a good chance in these fights. And then there's an extra one too, who's fighting as an add-in fight. He fought in the last show as well.
Is that Kit?
Yeah, Kit Campbell. That's the one.
Campbell.
Yeah, Kit Campbell's in there too. So I'm just like, if we could have a sweep, man, you could potentially have a Macau finals card with everyone from Australia and New Zealand. I'll be so happy, man.
It is, bro, but they're hard to do, man. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The thing is that with the more guys you put in, the more chances you have to lose. That's just a fact. So,
that's true.
You know, it's easy when you put one guy in, bro. You have a 50% chance, but when you start to put in 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth, it's a rare thing. So it would actually be great. Yeah.
True, man. And then also the next night, you've got the UFC Rong Zhu taking on Austin Hubbard. That's a kind of tricky problem to solve. I had a look at Austin. He's a very forward-moving fighter, right? Like he's looks like a difficult opponent. Out of all of them, I'll say he's maybe one of the toughest, right? What do you think?
Yeah, it's stylistically could be a tough fight. I mean, stylistically for both of them, Austin likes to come forward, but Rongzhu can catch you if you're too careless coming forward. Rongzhu can catch you, and then obviously with Austin Hubbard, he does like to drop under or push you to the cage, so he does like to close the distance. But I'm confident, like Rongzhu is that guy's got some talent that he needs to show the world, and so he's just waiting for his coming out party. And obviously, we're going to do our best to make sure that this is it. So, a super talented guy, just taking on some really good training habits now, and mixing it up with the boys. So, I'm expecting to see big things.
Yeah, I talked to him the other day, and he said the good thing about New Zealand is without all the distractions, he's just 100% focused on training. So, sounds like a good thing. Getting ready for China.
Yeah, brother. Just we let him know when he's a little bit late, or we let him know when he's where he's meant to be, and all the rest of it. He has a pretty good understanding of the expectations. So, and he's meeting them all. Like it's just eat, sleep, train, repeat, bro. Like that's just what you got to do to just get to the top.
Exactly, man. Man, last thing, I know you're going to probably be talking to everyone about this soon anyway, but the big Perth show coming up. Carlos Ulberg headlining, Junior Tuffer, Jimmy Crute, Colby Thickness, Navajo Sterling. Great looking card, man. It's going to be a great show. What are your initial take on the whole show?
Yeah, it's good, man. I mean, mate, I love if we can get all the ANZACs together on a card, we can get cards down these ways. It's the best. Sometimes I don't want to always be headlining them or taking, multiple guys in there, but that's just the way it is nowadays. So Carlos has got the big job, his first main event. It's good for him. It's good for his growth. He's going to be like the central figure of the card, and it's good for him to take on those responsibilities. He wants to be the best in the world, and this is one of the stepping stones to him being the best in the world.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, man. Really good. But I really hope that we get a few of you guys come over to Macau. Hopefully the finals of the Road to UFC will be here. Maybe we get a few other guys from the team over here. It'll be sick. It'll be sick.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Bro, last thing, talking about Australia's, New Zealand's, I know you like to give Aussies a bit of shit. I mentioned to you before how you cut the Aussie flag out of Cameron Rowston's Rashi that I sent over to him.
Was that your one? Yeah,
it's one of the ones I made with it's got an Aussie and a Kiwi flag, one on each side, and you cut the Aussie one out. But in response, I just remembered the other day, in response, I actually sent you an Aussie jersey by post. Did you ever receive that, bro? Some sort of Aussie jersey. I sent it to you. You probably used it as toilet paper or something.
No, honestly, bro, where did you send it to?
It was years ago, man. It was years ago. I just sent it to the gym to dress to you like an Aussie jersey, just as a joke, like a cheap Aussie jersey. I thought that would make good use for you.
I can't recall, bro, that.
You probably threw it straight in the bin, bro.
I wouldn't do that, brother. I do. I give the boys a lot of shit, but mate, like, come on. They're in New Zealand, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're in New Zealand. They're surrounded by New Zealanders. But yeah, it's just a bit of banter, bro. We love it.
The other day
they give it back.
I did my first multilingual interview the other day with Rong Zhu, and I asked him who gives the most banter. I don't know how the translation went, but he actually mentioned you. So that was the first name came out. He said you got a good sense of humor or something like this.
Yeah, look, I mean, if you know, you know, but I give a lot of people shit. It's like, it's my way of communicating with you that you might not be doing the right thing in this particular moment. Some coaches like to yell at you, and some coaches like to get angry, but I just have a special type of humor that I like to use to kind of let you know if you know what I mean.
Yeah, man. Well, it's leading to a bit of success so far, man. So I think it's all right. Bro, thanks again for your time. I appreciate it and look forward to seeing you and the lads in Shanghai in a week and a half or so.
Nah, bro, looking forward to catching up. Thank you very much.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for your time again, bro.